If you're writing a book, are you allowed to write holiday inspired characters into your stories legally? We're talking things like Santa and Rudolph and Yukon Cornelius. Is this going to work for you inside of your story? Let's talk to an IP and entertainment lawyer to find out.
My name is Tony Iliakostas. I'm an adjunct professor of entertainment law and IP at New York Law School, and I have an Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok account called the IP Professor that's dedicated to all things intellectual property.
When it comes to creating stories that have holiday vibes to them, if we want to use holiday oriented characters, what do we need to know to make sure we're legally protected? Because there's so many different versions of them that we might trip ourselves up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, I think authors, should definitely take advantage of maybe writing certain stories that are oriented to the holiday season. But I think, just as you would for anything else that's non-holiday related, it's a matter of just doing your research to verify if you're going to talk about specific characters in your book, would that infringe on any copyright? So I know that, for example, if you're in the story retelling space, odds are that you're picking characters that are free of any copyright issues and you could be able to retell the story, or they're generic enough in a genre that you're not going to infringe on any copyright necessarily. And I think, a good example would even be thinking about somebody like Winnie the Pooh. The copyright just expired for the character rights, not the Disney rights, but the character rights just this year. So that's why now the character Winnie the Pooh can be used in a horror movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. But you could, in theory, write a book about Winnie the Pooh now that the book character is in the public domain, free and clear of any use. So I think in the same vein, when you're an author and you want to write, let's say, a book about Santa Claus, actually, that's a good example because I think Santa Claus never really had like any copyright attached to him. So I think writing a book about Santa Claus should be okay. But let's say that you wanted to write something about, I think his name was Yukon Cornelius from the little Rudolph movie. So, Yukon Cornelius, that might be a bit of a problem because that was attached to the claymation or animation, slow motion, whatever you want to call it, movie of Rudolph. That might be a copyright issue because you're talking about the character, but that originated from that film, from those film series. So that could be a problem. But if, let's say, you wanted to write a book about, the reindeer, all the reindeer, again, I think that would be free and clear of any issues because there's no copyright that's attached to it. So if you're an author trying to figure out kind of how to write a narrative for the holiday season, whether it's like a short story or long form story, just doing that research to see what characters are available out there, it's going to give you the best indication of what you can and cannot write about. And if you want to write about, let's say, a character that's so common in Christmas lore there is no other way around it, you want to include them in your book, just asking for permission, getting the right permissions from a copyright point of view and even potentially trademark point of view, depending on what you're trying to do. Trademark may not be necessarily the priority, but the copyright permissions for those characters is going to be imperative. So contacting whoever was the creator of the Yukon Cornelius character, or, Ralphie from A Christmas Story, or any other character that kind of originated from more contemporary Christmas stories, getting permission from their rightful copyright owners to incorporate them in your book may be the way to go.
That makes a lot of sense. And as always, if you are going to be writing a retelling of any kind, we want to make sure we go back to that source material and really pull our inspiration from the originals and make sure they are not under copyright protection so that we do not get ourselves in legal trouble. If you've got further questions on this, go ahead and drop them down below. And as always, you can reach out to Tony online where he's dropping daily knowledge to help keep us legally protected. Tony, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the IP Professor. And as Cam said, I drop content as daily, as much as I can daily on all these topics. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me in the DMs.
Hit that subscribe and notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our daily episodes helping you level up in the writing and reading world. If you've got questions or topics you'd like to see us cover, let us know down below. We'll see you in the next episode.